This is San Diego News Daily.
Hello and welcome to San Diego News Daily. I'm Dana Williams. Easter traditions are taking place in communities across the county today, including one very special celebration in La Mesa. The 109th sunrise service was held on Mount Helix today. It is one of the longest running events of this kind in the country. It was first celebrated in 1917, well before the amphitheater was built, and today's event was hosted by Legacy Church. And in the North County, a controversial lithium-ion battery storage project is no longer moving forward, and that has a lot of people in one Escondido community who are celebrating. The Seguro project was first introduced in 2023, but a lot of neighbors opposed it due to growing fire hazard concerns. NBC 7's Jeanette Casada tells us how they're responding to this latest development.
This was the permit application notice for that project that was slated to be built along this 23-acre property. But today, many neighbors are celebrating a major victory because the project is no longer happening.
Elated and very relieved.
Phyllis Lederman is among dozens of neighbors in the Eden Valley community celebrating the withdrawal of the Seguro project.
It could not be better, really. Could not be better. It's been years that we've had to live with that threat. We can actually breathe.
Applied Energy Services, also known as AES, confirming the news on its website. The company first introduced the project in Escondido back in 2023. The proposal aimed to provide stored renewable energy to San Diego's power grid. But it faced pushback from the community after neighbors learned that the facility would use lithium-ion batteries in metal storage containers.
These facilities have a tendency to catch fire, and it's not like a wildfire. These are chemical fires.
Lederman says the proposed site would have been just feet from her backyard.
I have a horse in the backyard. His barn, his stall would have been right, probably about 50 feet from the nearest battery. So if there had been any fire, his whole stable would have gone up.
JP DeBerge with the Elfin Forest Harmony Grove Town Council says Palomar Hospital rejected the request from the developer to build an easement through their property that would have fed into the nearby SDG&E substation.
They were just concerned that their quality of life was going to be ruined and that they were going to be put at risk.
Joe Rowley used to oversee development projects like this one for a large energy company.
Battery storage projects contain large quantities of toxic flammable material, and that's something you have to take into account when you're looking at the adjacent land uses.
When he learned about the Seguro project, he did technical analysis and met with various parties of interest, including the City of Escondido, Palomar Health, and fire officials to inform them of the potential risks.
I think it's just too bad that it took so long for the developer to come to that same conclusion.
The Burge says 2 neighbors moved away due to the proposed project, even though it was not a done deal. But those who stayed gathered to celebrate what they say is a huge win.
It just shows you what you can do. It's really kind of the old American way.
Jeanette Quesada, NBC 7.
So in a statement to NBC 7, Applied Energy Services said in part, quote, while AE is no longer moving forward with the proposed Seguro project, as we prioritize other projects amid challenging market conditions, we remain committed to advancing projects that can provide the safe, reliable, and affordable power needed to strengthen the region's electric grid and generate meaningful economic benefits locally. And there's a new push this morning to let voters decide the fate of paid parking at Balboa Park. It's been about 3 months since the paid parking program was implemented, and this weekend supporters of a repeal effort gathered at the park to collect signatures for a ballot initiative that could put this before voters in November. Organizers say they're hoping to use the same democratic process that created the program to now potentially overturn it. Advocates with the Repeal the Fees campaign argue the paid system is hurting museums and businesses who are in the park.
It's dire. We budgeted a 20% shortfall, but apparently we didn't predict enough.
We're all in this together, and hopefully we can get these repealed.
Diana Hyatt is the president of the board of directors for the San Diego Model Railroad Museum. Since paid parking was introduced, she says they've laid off 3 employees to cut costs and cut the days they're open from 6 to 5. Organizers say they're going to need about 80,000 signatures to get the measure on the November ballot, with a deadline to qualify set for the first week of July. Our NBC 7 meteorologist Brooke Martell will have a look at your weather right after this.
You're rolling. Your left, I'm sorry.
Let's do this.
Where do you get your information from?
Well, definitely start with the local news.
The reason why I love listening to local news like NBC, they give the facts.
California families could feel
They have a genuine interest, first as people and second as a news team.
Because this is their community too.
Sometimes the news isn't always fun. Bringing it to us every day in good and bad times is something that we rely on.
Nice to have you with us.
Happy Easter. Taking a look at what you can expect for today, this upcoming week. We'll start with tomorrow, actually. Temperatures are still going to be staying above seasonal averages by about 5 to 10 degrees. We'll be breezy with the return of that onshore flow, but we are going to start cooling down by the end of the week, and that's when we have some rain chances back in the forecast. But it'll be a beautiful day on this Sunday. We're looking at those temperatures to be right around the mid to upper 60s at the coast for areas like Mission Beach between 9 and 10 o'clock before we could get back into those low 70s. Low rip current risk for today, wave heights from 1 to 4 feet. Daytime highs looking like this, so 60s and 70s along the coastline. We still have those 80s over your inland valley communities. Your mountain communities, though, will have 70s, even some 80s sprinkled in there, and breezy at times. Same thing will go for the desert region, where temperatures today will be trending closer to the low 90s, and we're looking at your wind speeds here going into this afternoon. You could see that onshore flow pretty prominent. Breezy at times over the valleys, and by tomorrow it's more of the same. These winds are still going to be a factor. They could be even a little bit stronger for areas over our desert region and our mountain communities by Monday afternoon. Talked about the rain potential back in the forecast here. Higher chances by the end of the week. We're looking at that window of Friday, Saturday, possibly even into Sunday for the region. Still a little early to tell on the timing of the system, but this is where it could come from. This low that's coming from the north continuing to travel south. Looking ahead to Thursday night, you can see the increased cloud cover as we go into Friday, Saturday, with that potential for that rain as we get into your weekend. Like I said, better idea of what we can expect as we get into the coming days. But 10-day forecast looks like this. Pretty consistent temperature-wise Monday through Wednesday. Wednesday could even be a few degrees warmer because of a ridge that will start to build, but then quickly breaks down. That low that I mentioned will come in from the north and bring our temperatures down a little bit with that cloud cover and also the chance for that rain. Looking to be Friday through Sunday for those rain chances. Mountain communities taking a break from the 70s. We'll go back to the 60s, even some 50s in the forecast through the extended period. Desert region also getting a chance to cool down as well. We'll stay right around those 90s through about midweek before we get back into those 80s and eventually settle into some 70s by next weekend, Dana.
Brooke, thanks so much. And speaking of the warm weather that we've been seeing in recent weeks as well as this weekend, experts are cautioning hikers of snake bite season. 2 Southern Californians have actually died last month from rattlesnake bites, and pets are taking bites too. A surgeon at Stitch Veterinary Urgent Care in Miramar Ranch North says he's seen an uptick in rattlesnake bites in the last few weeks. He says the most common cases are actually dogs putting their head inside snake holes or managing to pick one up. A snake rescuer told us you should be on the lookout for rattlesnakes now all the way until October. All right, as always, there's more coverage you can count on at NBC7.com, and you can find us on your Roku or your Samsung Smart TV. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dana Williams.